broadcasting live from our studio in Appleton, Wisconsin. You're tuned into Fox City's Core on WCZR Code Zero Radio. We're the show that gives you an opportunity to call in and be a part of the show. Our call-in line is 920-358-0795. Core. My next guests are an indie rock band from Joplin, Missouri. Since forming in 2009, the band has released multiple singles, EPs, and albums. They created a huge buzz during their first performance at Mile of Music, and they continue to call Appleton their second hive. The band is currently on the backside of a headlining tour in support of their latest single, Shush. I'd like to welcome Luke and Jake from Me Like Bees to Fox City's Core. How are you guys doing?
So good.
Doing good, man. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming in. You're in town for a couple shows, and you are on the second, kind of, would you call it the second leg of the tour?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, as the poster states, the tour started in June. So yes, you are correct.
We are on the right half of the two columns of shows. So
you had
yes.
a little time off, right, in between and then back at it.
We just started this portion of it, so it feels like we're 1 week into 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's been good.
Any highlights from the tour that you want to share?
I think from the overall tour, we had an Oklahoma City headliner that was really, really, really fun in a new room that we had never played before, and yeah, that was a nice surprise. You never know. I mean, I don't even remember the last time we headlined in Oklahoma City, and so you make it back to a city, and you're like, whoa, ticket sales are going pretty good. Like we had no idea. Like so that the Oklahoma City show was a fun one for me. Yeah.
And of course, Appleton. It's probably always nice to come back here.
Always, yeah.
You've got a show tonight at our friend Crazy Todd's, and then tomorrow a nice show at the Appleton Beer Factory, which you've been at multiple times.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the band, and I'm sure you get these questions all the time, but let's talk about how the band started and where you got that name.
Man, everybody wants to know. The question on everyone's mind. The band really started in earnest. Like we started touring in like 2012. But Pete and I had been playing together with a couple other guys for a few years, like starting in 2009, like it said. And we just kind of threw that name out. We had to pick a name for this festival. It wasn't even really a festival. It was like a battle. Boomtown Days in Joplin. And so like, it was like one of those things where you have to pay to like play in this Battle of the Bands thing. Very like the plot of a bad 90s TV show. Like, so we had to like come up with a name, and that's what we landed on. So
at that point, you guys were getting some material ready for that. Had you been in bands previously, or this was a special band just put together for the Battle of the Bands?
So I had just started playing with those guys. We started playing in April together. So we had written maybe 2 or 3 songs.
It's pretty ballsy to go right into a Battle of the Bands.
Sure. We got third out of like 12.
Heyo.
So that's not terrible. Yeah. What was the question? I don't even remember. What were we talking about? I don't remember, dude. I'm like...
It was just like it was getting the band started, and then it was that. Were you in any projects prior to that band that played at the Battle?
I had a band in college that really just played a few shows. It was called Blane, and it was named after the dorm hall that we lived in.
Were you the front person of that?
I was, but I was playing acoustic guitar.
Interesting.
A little different vibe.
What kind of music was it?
It was just indie rock, really. Still, yeah, the same kind of stuff. But
when you say acoustic, I picture like emo-ish, like
Spill Canvas type.
I wouldn't call it emo. It was like still pretty rock. It was pretty thumping for. I mean, we weren't good, but like
around the old stomping grounds of Joplin, we called them Blane.
That's the name of the band.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So after
Blane Jane.
Yeah.
There it is. I had it for you.
Yeah.
So Jake wasn't in Me Like Bees yet at that.
I think he was
Battle of the Bands.
I think that in 2009 it's likely Jake was in 6th grade or something.
I was about to graduate high school.
Sure. Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
so
he was about to graduate high school.
I think Jake technically joined around 2013, but was he like, were you a fan of the band prior to
Yeah,
that
so
show? You're in 6th grade or whatever it was.
Yeah. Before joining, I was actually on the road with them for like 2 years, just like doing merch management and stuff like that. And that really what did get me interested in that was not only like I was doing my own music, but just the quality of the music and the idea that, you know, these guys from where I'm from that are just like me, you know, are doing it, right? And so, massive fan. I always tell Luke all the time, like, the only reason I'm in Me Like Bees, because the only reason I ever got interested was the line in Joseph Jones where he's like, I say, Joe, does it warm you up when I wrap your arms in blanket statements? Where it's like this idea of, you know, waxing poetic to people that need our help instead of just actually just getting down and helping people. And I thought that was so beautiful, and the music was good, and there was heart and meaning. And so I was definitely a fan. And then the opportunity came up for me to travel with them and help them out in that way. And then the opportunity presented itself for me to say, well, I play bass, presented itself, and here I am. So yeah,
the rest is history.
Truly,
as they say.
truly, yeah.
So, do you remember the first time you rolled through Appleton? Was it during the Mile Music Festival?
It was, and we didn't know. You know, it was like you get this strange email about this festival in Wisconsin, and we'd never played in Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we'd played in Milwaukee. And it was like the format of it just like didn't make any sense to us. It was like, you guys can play as many shows as you want to.
Yeah.
I was like, excuse me? What do you mean by that? Like, you want me to play more than one show a day? And it's, you know, I think we ended up playing like 7 shows that first mile. And it's like, you'll get paid this much per show. We're like, we just say how many we want to do, and then.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the vibe was like when you guys were playing the shows? Because I remember hearing buzz around town. You've got to go see Me Like Bees. Like, what was the reaction like?
I mean, the first show was at the old Mill Creek on like a Thursday night. So it was like, you know, we had just, and it's back in the day when we wouldn't break up a 12-hour drive into 2 days. Like, we just hoofed it up. So like, we left that morning and kind of dragged ourselves in. And so, I mean, we didn't know what to expect. We loaded in. Thought, well, this is a pretty good crowd, so I guess we should, you know, but
yeah, I remember a couple members at the time were like, we don't know. I mean, Jake can come if he wants. We don't even know if we should bring merch. We might not. And then, you know,
I don't know
knowing now, knowing now, obviously that
we sold out of all.
Yeah,
of our
it was an
merch,
insane claim. But the first year was as a sort of because I wasn't in at the time, but I was here, you know, and it's a sort of detached member of the group that was still here. It was fun, like walking behind them down the street the next day. I mean, oh, that's Me Like Bees, you know, and we say all the time, like we truly don't talk about everywhere like we talk about Appleton, and that's true. And we say all the time, like, if you had 6 or 7 cities that were like Appleton, you could make a living doing this. And so we really do. We love it. But that first year, it was, you know, the third set, people were like, oh my gosh, this person told me to call. I had to see you guys, you know, and I'm getting a lot of those touch points at the merch table, right? Because they can talk to me during the show. And it was a fun experience. I wish that I think I can't speak for Luke, I guess, but I can speak for myself when I'm like, I wish I would have known, you know, what was happening at the time, you know. And it's like, because it's a real, I mean, I have goosebumps, right? It's a really special, that we talk about that all the time, because that first year was like, because we just literally did not know what to expect, and it was so fun. It was great.
And even if it was like, is it worth it to go? Like, do we actually do this? Like, and yeah, because like it's so far away, and you know, it really was special that first year. I do remember, like, I broke during, you know, the last song of our first set, I threw my guitar on the ground and it popped a tuning peg off, like it broke off. So I had to, the second set, I didn't discover that until like 1 minute before we were supposed to start, and
Zoinks.
Our old bass player had to run to the van to get our backup guitar like 2 blocks away. Then he literally ran up. I tuned it as fast as I could, and then we just rolled at it. So, I mean, that second set, I think for 2 sets I had to play with a guitar I never play with. So, I mean, like, it was just one of those, like...
It feel kind of strange to play with the B guitar?
No, not really. I mean, like, hey-o. I think for me it was just like a really weird, like, oh, man, there's a lot of people at this show. It's like 2 in the afternoon on a Friday. And this place is packed. I was like, what is this place? Like, I did not think it's like, 2 o'clock on,
Yeah.
no one's going to be here. It was
Many
super
a 2 p.m. sets have been played before that. So we thought we knew what to expect.
We know what that usually is. When you play at 2 p.m. at a festival, you know that you're going to be earning your keep that day for sure.
Well, you've been back to Appleton multiple times on non-Mile of Music days. Are the crowds still there when you come back on those days from the fan base that you've acquired during the Mile of Music?
Definitely. Yeah. I think we've got a very good following here, and that really is thanks to Mile of Music. Because it is unique in that when you're touring, you're trying to build up a market, and then, hopefully 6 months to a year later, you come back to that market and you have more fans. But, at Mile of Music, you had a weekend where you got to play 7 shows. So you get to build a market in a weekend, which is pretty crazy. I mean...
On your merch game, I remember the first year you had the cool blue and white shirts, and then just it seemed like you're always coming up with new merch that people wanted.
He is.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm the last person you want to design a T-shirt.
I think it's a team effort for sure. I definitely pitch them a lot of ideas that don't ever make it out. And so I would like to think that, sure, I'm the one in Photoshop doing it, but it's like, well, most of these ideas are birthed by discussions we're having or like things we see. And, well, do you think this is cool? So yeah, it's fun. I love that part of it. I really do. And like, it's just, I have a new idea. You want to hear my new idea?
I do.
Never before said before.
Let's hear it.
So I text the idea to my wife and she didn't get it. So I think that's why I need to vocalize it. So the idea is playing on the absurdity of our name as a sentence, right? Me like bees. So the shirt would just say, I like me like bees. So like, someone reading it that doesn't know what me like bees is, it would be like you had a stroke but made a T-shirt. That's my idea. So thoughts?
I like it. I mean, it would depend on the color scheme.
Right, definitely.
To be
Huge
honest,
part of it, for sure. Yeah.
But I like it, though. We had a comment from our friend Eric Herm who said that he would buy a Luke-designed shirt. I mean, I don't know what that would look like. I like what you just said there, Jake. That's a good idea.
Maybe that's Luke's shirt.
Hey. Look at that.
Well, he sold one already.
Collaborative effort.
We had another question here. Bob Minter asks, have you guys played overseas or ever entertained the thought?
Playing overseas. We have entertained the thought.
I think I've entertained it a lot. It's fun.
Entertaining that thought?
Yeah.
We've not played overseas. What do you count as overseas?
So true.
We were on the rock boat last year.
On the seas.
We played. And I guess when you think about us in relation to the sea, we were over it.
Yeah, definitely.
So semantics.
So I don't know.
Technically, yes. Pragmatically, no.
We've played in Canada.
What would be the big thing holding you guys back from playing overseas?
Money.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
So you usually have to like rent a van. You have to rent musical equipment. That's a lot.
I would love it. Absolutely love it. I hope that it makes sense for us eventually. But yeah, so much of our discussions are like, we have wives, we have families, we have, stuff we do at home. And like, it just has to, either we have to really want to do it, right? Because, we could get back from this tour and it doesn't make sense at the end of it, right? But it's like, well, we need to go out and headline a tour anyway. So, but yeah, that is just such a different animal. And, I hear it all the time. I flew with my guitar and the headstock broke off and like, they're not going to replace, and it's like, man, we don't ever like to fly with our instruments if we don't have to. It's just better safe than sorry. I would love to, though. I don't know what Greg, Don, Dom,
Bob,
you're so close.
Bob, if you are overseas, we hope to make it one day for sure. But over the seas.
Pitching to your wife, I'm going to go hang out in Europe for a couple of weeks, and you can stay here and run everything. That's a hard sell. It's already hard to be like, hey, I'm going on a cruise.
That was tough.
That was hard to be like. Now, my wife went on her own cruise.
True.
And in Spain, she's fine. So like, yeah.
Well, yeah, and I guess I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but your wife runs a business, a bakery, right?
She does.
And so when you're going on tour, you're not there to provide assistance or help.
Actually, I do everything I do for the bakery. I do on the road too. Every day I work the same job. because I work from home for her anyway, so it's the same to me. Yeah.
Here's a question for Jake. When you joined the band, did your old job kind of morph or change, or did you kind of keep your same old?
That is a day that is burned into my brain, and I hated my job. I mean, I hated it. It was probably the worst job I've ever had. And when Luke called and told me, and I was like, well, I play bass, so what's the word, you know? And he was like, come over and learn some songs. And I was like, done. At that moment, I was like, I don't even care. Like, you know what I mean? I did not have that job for very much longer. So,
were you a bass player prior to that?
How I posed it to Luke was like, I play bass at church. So what do you think?
And what he said, actually, these are the words he said. He said, now, I don't play bass a lot. He said, well, what I have is a lot of determination, a hard worker, and I've got an inordinate amount of time. Yeah. And I said, well, brother, that'll do.
Yeah. And then
so we spent a lot of time together.
Yeah. It was.
I was at his house, I think, at least 5 hours a day for like 3 weeks straight.
Yeah. And then like we met at Pete's sometimes. And that was a crazy, because we had a 90-minute set at the Royals game like 10 days later.
At Kauffman Stadium. We had to.
And 90 minutes is 27, 28 songs maybe. Mm-hmm. And so the upside of the value that I did provide was like, I've traveled with you guys. I know where the transitions are. I know how you play this one different. But I don't know how to play the songs. So I know
you have to.
I know everything but how to play the songs. So it was. I am very, very. I mean, I owe everything I have to the band because of Luke and Pete's like willingness to sit and teach, you know, a 25-year-old kid how to play songs that they'd been playing for 10 years already. And I am infinitely grateful to them for that, because I certainly could not have done that on my own. So my life changed dramatically because I quit my job. I did nothing but that. We had a huge tour that summer, and I was just learning a lot, drinking from a fire hose.
Was that the 10-week slog?
That was like yes,
10
and then
total weeks of touring, broken up by like 1 week in between two of them. Yeah.
So how long did it take you to get comfortable where you could be up there and just play the songs with muscle memory taking over and actually enjoy yourself?
Probably next year.
Yeah. I would say I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not like some songs still for me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was making fun of myself with our new song, Shush. Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Listen to Shush.
Everywhere
you listen to it. But the bridge part of it, I mean, I was telling these guys, I have to like stop and shut my entire brain. Like it's lizard brain. I have to like survive, and I just sit there. I can't move. It's just I'm like paralyzed. Mm-hmm. All I can do is those things to do it accurately, and then I can get back into performing.
This is kind of inside baseball, but when one of you guys makes a flub on stage, is it agreed upon you don't look at each other, or do you quickly exchange a glance so that the other person knows, I heard that?
Yeah.
I will say for me, if it continues, it like if it's a sustained mistake, you'll get a look for sure.
Has to be addressed.
Yeah. But like if it's just like a little, man, that's just rock and roll. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
If you play a perfect show, you're not rocking hard enough. You know what I mean? Like you need to like.
And that is a motto that I live by.
Yeah.
My friend,
like,
for sure.
I'm like, we're not going for accuracy. We're going for passion. So like, you know, but I probably screw up 10 to 15 times a show.
You mentioned that with the tuning peg at the Model Music Show. Has there been any other big mishap during a show that has thrown things off?
Where can you start? You know, where does one begin?
I would say the Cleveland show where you almost killed somebody.
Was that in Cleveland?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was Columbus or something.
Oh, okay, whatever.
So one time, and mind you, this is back in the day, and some people out there will know who Never Shout Never is, but we toured with a band called Never Shout Never, and their crowd is very young. So like their crowd was like 12 to 25-year-old women, like aged. So like they're younger women. And so they're little, and I'm large. And so I'm like, I'm on, the stage is like really tall, like 4 feet tall. Like it's very tall. And then there's like a little half wall And at the top of that half wall is like a 10 by 2 board. And I hopped up on top of that. And when I hopped up on top of it, it gave forward. Like I was about to spill into, like, you know that scene from The Lord of the Rings, like Return of the King, where they shoot like the big castle rock and it kills all those orcs. Like it just
That was him.
That was about to be that scene.
Oh no!
So like, and I just so instinctively I just bent my knees and just pushed back. Because it's the only thing I'm either going to fall on these people and literally probably maim someone forever, or I can take one for the team. And I took one for the team and I pushed back and I landed flat on my back and it knocked the wind out of me. And I just heard the whole crowd over this half wall. I can't see him go, oh. And then I kept playing the song. I got up, I finished the song. I was like, thank you very much. I don't think we sold a t-shirt. That is the least cool thing you can do. Like, it was a bad night. So, and I talked to the guitar tech, Kyle, who was super fun. I mean, super funny guy. I was like, how bad was that? He goes, I'm not going to lie, man. It's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
So I'd say most of the things like that, sure, we mess up because I think we're trying, our main like objective is to put on a really good show. If we were trying to play perfect every night, you would have to be just stationary and, and so most of the hijinks come from the unpredictability of the venue or like the lights or, this beam that's like right in the middle of this, a lot of it comes from that just night to night that changes, because the setup and our execution is very similar night to night, but the things that change are like the venue around us. It's interesting, but yeah.
Or sometimes a rowdy fan will change the paradigm,
Yeah.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are very energetic on stage. You each sort of have your own roles. Jake, you're very animated and moving and doing almost like borderline splits and different like.
Is that true? I don't get to see much.
Leans and stretches and things like that. And you're very animated as well, Luke. And I know that as far as stylistically, the band before Jake was a little different because you had kind of the sides, which didn't move very much. And then you were animated in the middle. Jake brought a whole nother energy to the band. Was his energy on stage different when he started playing the shows with you guys?
Well, when he first started playing the shows, it was non-existent because he just had to think really hard about what he needed to play.
Yeah.
And so he was sort of a statue.
The Royals set was live streamed, and so you can go back and find the live stream that my brother was doing, and I'm not moving. It's shocking.
And 1 second after he got on stage,
this is crazy.
The Kauffman Stadium camera person, they're just taking B-roll to show later, it's like a recap and like a thanks for playing kind of thing. And he is 6 inches in front of Jake with this massive camera.
First song, first show. Yeah.
And it's like, all right, man, just, relax, do your best. You're going to make some mistakes. Not a big deal. Just try to concentrate. This dude's in his face. Like, nah. I don't even know if he got the rest of us. He just got, he really got you for a long time. He was like, I got to get this bass player. And Jake was just like, yeah, it was pretty
a
awesome.
Good way to get thrown in.
Yeah. So after that period where I felt like I could start moving, it was fun to have fun instead of feel the weight of being the new guy and having an established fan base and okay, I know lots of people love Nick. I love Nick. How does that feel to me to be you're not him? You know what I mean? And I couldn't be, and I never could, and we're different people. And so once I got out of that, it was a lot of fun to learn who I am as a performer. So
yeah. A couple comments here I'll quickly address. Tammy Wolf says, love these guys. Drew Hahn, who you know from the Drew Hahn Show, said, if it wasn't mentioned already, how was the show in Cudahy?
We all know how to say that town name.
Cudahy.
Cudahy. It was good. It was rock and roll, man. Good crowd for a Thursday night. I think, all three bands were really good. The opener was called Bovie, and they're they're kids, but they have a great sound and a great, aura on stage. And they felt very natural for being so young. So that was cool to see. And then Parrotfish is a great band, super fun, super like dancey. So yeah, I think it was a great night, you know.
We had some more comments. Whale Barrel says, come to Seattle. And then Tammy Wolf said, Jake, we have watched you grow so much. You are doing so awesome.
Wow. That warms my heart. It might not sound like it's true, but it is true. Because that's true. They were there, that first mile. Seattle person. Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We can't say anything, but
I don't know.
But maybe you don't even have to wait till next year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Sounds like you guys are chumming the water a little bit here.
We're chumming the water.
Like it.
We got some stuff in the works, you know.
You mentioned playing with Bovine. Was that how you said it? The
Bovie.
Yeah. A really young band. You guys have been around now for over a decade, which when you started, did you see the band that far in advance as being still around 10 years from that point?
I've never had,
question.
that is a great question. I've never had like a sense of this ever ending or, you know, like, I don't know. So it's like, I don't feel like, I mean, my knees certainly tell me all the time that it's almost done so, but they can shut up. But like, I didn't have, you know, our goal, especially early on when you're just starting out, it's just maybe we could play a show. Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. You know, can you imagine if we played in a different city? You know what I mean? Like where you're saying like, how crazy would it be if we got a show in Kansas City? You know, and it's like, that's our hometown. We live 2 hours from there now. So it's like, those are the kinds of questions you're asking. So you're not really thinking about like, this is my career. Cause like, it certainly was, you know what I mean? Like it took a long time to get towards like oh, this is a legitimate business. You know what I mean? And that happens so slowly that you don't even notice it when it's like, you know, things that you should be incredibly grateful for become pretty commonplace. Mm. And so it's only every once in a while that you really appreciate like, oh, I'm getting to do what a lot of my friends have wanted to do forever. And it's like it's only every once in a while you kind of do that because you're in the grind of it, you know? So it's hard to answer that question. I don't know, you know, as far as the trajectory, I think like for me, it's all about, do I still have something to say that's going to be valuable to people, like to hear? Am I still a good husband when I'm on the road? Am I still a good bandmate and a good friend? Because if those answers are no, then it doesn't matter. So like, I feel like those answers are all yes. I feel like I still have some things to say, to contribute, you know, not that like, but you know, if that helps a few people in their life, then yeah, I mean, that's kind of the goal, always the short and long-term goal for me.
What is the long-term goal right now?
I mean, just to sustain. I mean, we keep growing. I mean, that's the thing is like, and that's the other thing that'd be easy. We could see where it's like, if we start doing this and people aren't listening anymore, maybe we're done talking to people then, you know what I mean? Maybe you're done sort of like, they can tell you, it's not like I'm going to stop writing songs, but it's like, maybe we don't need to go out so much anymore, right? Where it's like, it doesn't look like they're into it. So, but you know, fortunately for us, bands are back. Mm-hmm. Real is back.
Real is back.
Is a good way to say it. I think Real is back. You know, there's a lot of fake in the world, and especially in the online space. So I feel like people are going to reject it more and more. And I think that people that are doing real stuff, you know, like bands that don't play with tracks and metronomes and the bells and the whistles, they're just playing their instruments and there's no backing track. It's just, even if your voice is scratchy that night, that's your voice, you know.
Man, I love that, bro. That
you know
just,
what I'm saying?
It's so crazy because it's the things he's saying is so like seemingly novel, but like you get on stage and you tell the sound guy like, yep, we're just 2 guitars, bass, and drums.
8 inputs, 4 vocals, 2 guitars, a bass, and drums, and the truth.
Yeah, you know? Man, it's like, yeah, I don't know. Yep. That's crazy.
Well, so
well put.
Thanks, man.
Your first album was the Ides way back in 2013. When did you start writing? Because I know it's still looked at as a masterpiece. When did you start writing songs for that album? And was the first album the easiest because you had longer to put it out?
I don't know. I mean, like, you know, we started writing songs in 2009 and it came out and we recorded it in 2012. So it wasn't that long But I mean, there were some songs that I wrote previously that made its way onto the Ides, like Kids in the Kitchen was a song I wrote in college. I mean, we worked all the time, you know, and Pete, because it's just like the way life goes, we can't just be stuck in a room together for 5 and 6 hours at a time every day. So like that is different, you know, just the way our lives have gone. I just, neither one can. We, as young men, we could do that. We can't now. So it's a lot more collaboration by sending each other stuff. So, I mean, I think it was unique in that, like, especially because, like we were talking about, you're not an established band. And so you're so hungry for just any sort of like traction that you just dump yourself into writing really bad songs. And we knew we needed to write a bunch of really bad songs to get to where we could write really good songs. So like we just let ourselves write some bad songs. I mean, the first songs we played at like the first show we ever played, we never played those again. Those are the only time you could ever hear a performance of those songs. We didn't need to do it anymore. Like we knew they weren't very good, you know, so it's like you move on. So, I mean, I think, and really a lot of those songs got written, some of them very quickly and some of them took forever. You know, we always joke that Calm the Snail, which was for a school project. Pete was in engineering school, like sound engineering. And we wrote that song in the time it takes to play it as something to play for that project. And that's how long it took to write it. And that was it. Like we wrote it that night because it was due the next day. And so we sat there and just cranked it out and recorded it for his project.
So was that first album self-recorded?
No. So the first album was recorded by Jeff Smith at Studio 2100 in Springfield, Missouri, which is where we've actually done both of our albums, our full-length albums, and most of our singles, actually.
And the Ides got a special vinyl release. Was that about 3 or 4 years ago? Was it longer than that already?
2023.
2023. And then you put out a live album, which was it did that have Jake on bass?
Yeah, it was me and Ben. That was for the anniversary show we did in Joplin that year. Yeah, so that was fun.
So that album does kind of live on, and it does seem to be like I said, kind of the top kind of thing to shoot for now, doesn't it? I mean, you've had a lot of great music out since then, but it's like an album that sticks around because of how good it is.
I think like it's hard to have that sort of perspective when you're writing it, because like the way you have no control over how someone responds to a song. Like I always joke, my favorite songs of ours nobody listens to. I mean, I love like the song Green Boots. Love that song. It's not like, you know, it's not like bottom 5 songs like streamed, you know, like people don't listen to it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, but it doesn't seem like the ones I connect with the most are the ones that people are excited about. So it's like, it's really hard for me to gauge, you know, any of that. You don't have any control over how people respond. Because I think like, and this may be, I don't think controversial to say, but I think that Disco Two Step's actually a better record than our first record. Just the way it's compiled, you know, the themes throughout it. I think it's a better overall project than the first one, but you want to believe that. So it's hard to be like, I'm completely biased because it's more recent. So it's like, I want to believe that I'm getting better at that. So it's really hard to say. So, I mean, I guess I would say I don't have the objective sort of like perspective to even answer, if that makes sense.
I think like if I'm looking at it from just my personal perspective, I think it's like that first people correlate, at least I do when I listen to the Ides, I feel the feelings of when I first saw Me Like Bees and the excitement and all that. Disco Two Step's really good as well. And you guys, that was kind of a new phase for Me Like Bees. You guys ventured more into video and things like that. When the ideas are coming up for new projects, new albums, is there an attempt to reinvent what you're doing? Because I know the Ides styles are different, you know, between the albums.
Yeah, I think, you know, Pete and I have shared this philosophy that you don't go say, I'm going to write this kind of song. You sit down, you write what you want to write, and then you go back and you listen through and say, I like these songs, right? I don't say, I'm going to write a song that sounds like, or I want to go back to writing like. I don't think that works, you know. You'll never land at what you think you're going to land at. So it's like that head game doesn't help anything. So like I think, you know, you write about what you care about, you write about what you know, you write what's interesting to you. And and you hope people respond. I mean, there's nothing else you can do. You can't really say, well, I don't like how this is going now, or, well, we need to write this kind of song so that we stay relevant in this way. That won't work. Like, that's, that'll come off as exactly what it is, which is like kind of being contrived and too formulaic, or, and, I think we have kind of a crop of songs right now that are good, but it's just hard to answer, really. I don't know if that answered it or not.
It did. So when you and Pete are songwriting, you're the two main songwriters in the band.
Mm-hmm.
When you're writing, are you typically coming up with a lyric idea first, or is it bouncing ideas, you and Pete bouncing musical ideas off each other as far as chord progressions or things like that?
The longer we've gone, the more it's either he is writing the song or I'm writing the song. So it's like there are Pete songs, like, for instance, I didn't write a single word of Disco Two-Step, Animal, Radio. I wrote most of Return to Me, Green Boots, Square Jaw, where it's like, those are mine, and then the rest were Pete's. So it's like
So that's why you like Green Boots, the top 5.
Well, no, I think I like it because of like what it meant at the time, and like what it like, and how it just spilled out. That was really, pretty wild. And I really like, it's like there's a couple of like little like Easter egg jokes in it that are really buried. The things that like there are lines that I've written that are like too deep. They're 2 layers deep of that anyone should ever care, including me. But like, I'll put in the time because it'll be like a little joke to myself when I sing it, like, man, no one's going to care, or no, who cares? But like, it's fun, So for that reason, I think and sometimes I'll spend too much time on lines that I know no one will care about. But I want it to be a certain way. And so like, I'll spend a lot of time on it, and it's not like it's what people respond to. But no, I think, I think my favorite song from that record is The Man, as far as lyrics. I think that's the best song Pete's ever written. That's probably the best. I think that's the best lyrics on the record. But I think, Animal's great. Radio's probably the best, as far as like just like the one I think people respond to the most from that record. Anyway, I'm just like spitballing, sorry.
How many people have you seen take pictures of Pete's pedalboard before or after you guys play? I mean, it seems the shows I've been at, there's always somebody that walks up and takes a picture of the board. He's got a pretty impressive pedal layout.
He does, man. Yeah, I don't know how that thing works. If I had to, I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, when we were about to play Disco Two-Step, he's like...
Click, 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 click. You hear like...
Yeah.
He has a hand crank thing. He's just, It's like, what's happening over there? He like fires up a generator that has to power a pedal.
This pedalboard is an enigma. Least favorite piece of gear to put into the van,
100%. Too. Well, his amp, I think for me, yeah.
I had a couple more comments here. This was from Christy Bennett. What is your favorite on-the-road snack?
I can't say because that's my mom. She's probably trying to send something to me, knowing
Christy, stop trying to cheat.
The sweetie that she is. I'm a constant snacker, though, for sure.
This guy.
Definitely.
I try to avoid the snacks.
What's better, QuikTrip or what's Bucky's?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. Whatever else you said, it's QuikTrip. QuikTrip with a K, for sure.
We just had this debate in the van with our merch guy. And I'm not even going to name his name. I don't want you attacking him.
Yeah.
But he's saying that the QT QuikTrip from where we are, QuikTrip, he's saying that's better.
It's not.
Than the KWIK.
It's not. Luke and I shared a pizza for lunch, $7.
Unbelievable and
insane.
Great.
Just split it right down the middle?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Can I ask I'll ask what was on it.
Meatzilla, baby.
Yes.
And it was thin crust.
And it was hot, and it was fresh.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Unbelievable
you can't get that
value.
anywhere else. You kidding me?
I mean, so QuikTrip's the best gas station ever.
It is. It's the best grocery store gas station combo ever.
Yeah.
Bakery combo.
Bucky's is a sham.
Yeah, Bucky's is like... this is absolutely insane that we are saying this because people love Bucky's. I don't get it.
Unless Bucky's wants to sponsor us, and then it's the best thing in the world. If you're listening to Bucky's...
please.
Oh, I'd take a QuikTrip sponsorship. Hit me. I'll wear your gear.
Yeah.
Raymond Sutherland said that looking forward to seeing you in Cincinnati next Sunday, baby.
Oh, hey, all right.
Heck yeah.
Cool.
And then Drew Hahn said that Disco Two-Step is a fantastic album, which I concur. You are playing tonight at, it's kind of a private event at Crazy Todd's house venue, which is, we've been there quite a few times. Full band and as a solo artist.
Mostly as a solo artist. I think it's only my second inside show with the band, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I do it every year as a solo thing.
And for those not in the know, it's a very intimate, pretty much a living room performance.
It absolutely is. Yeah, it's awesome.
But if you weren't lucky enough to snag tickets for that, you guys are playing the Appleton Beer Factory tomorrow night, which you've been there. And I know that one's not sold out. It's probably pretty close if it hasn't already.
It's like maybe 20 tickets left or something.
Yeah, so don't wait till tomorrow to buy your ticket.
Don't go to the door and try to buy them.
So as far as the tour that's been ongoing so far, is there a highlight stop so far?
Rochester, Minnesota, for sure.
And I think you mentioned that,
so far, that's the highlight for me. Yeah.
Yeah,
crazy.
I would agree with that. It was a pretty wild show.
And so you had there's been multiple shows on this tour so far that have gotten almost sold out. And today, obviously sold out. Tomorrow, almost sold out. You kind of hinted earlier that there might be some announcements for some other shows coming up. Are you already planning your next tour? Or is this one going to be extended at some point?
I was chatting with our booking agent about that, and because we do have stuff, and but me and him were going back and forth about do you just call it another leg of the same tour, or so?
Alleged if there are other dates.
Yeah,
that's so, assuming.
I think we're fine with the show that we're putting on right now. I think we worked really hard at making sure that the tour name, Bands Are Back, the idea that this is like an experience, I think we're fine with this batch of shows being that. I think that's where I landed personally. So completely separate thing that might happen.
It might. We don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Not even us.
How are you guys on set lists typically? Keep the same thing that works or just change it up every night?
We do not change it every night. It's the same set list every night. So we'll do something different tonight at Todd's just because same market, 2 different days. A lot of people, there's some crossover there. So you want to put on 2. And really, when you do something as a private thing, it's much more a different format. And so like a different feel to it. But we have a set list that is, and we printed off like 90 of them. So
first time ever.
Yeah. We discovered after 10 years of touring that if you just print them off, you don't have to write them out every night when everybody steals them. So no sweat, right? So yeah, it's the same one.
Oh, for a while you guys were selling, you could purchase at your merch table, like the drawings for some of the videos off Disco Two-Step. Are you still doing anything like that?
The closest thing this tour is we had some screen printed, like hand printed, like limited edition posters with the tour design on it. And they're all hand numbered and we signed them all, but that's about as...
We have the drum heads though.
No, they're gone.
We already sold out of those?
They're gone.
Wow.
Can you tell everybody about the drum heads they can no longer purchase?
Yeah, they were just used drum heads of bands that we signed, but he goes through them like crazy. He hits really hard. So we're like, oh, this is cool, just like a cool little memento for like some fans or, but yeah, they're gone.
So as far as like selling music versus actual stuff, like I guess I'd call it a souvenir, or like a piece of memorabilia. Is music still, where do you make like the most bang for your buck to give yourself the opportunity to keep touring and doing that stuff? Is it music or is it the other things?
Well, let's talk business. So we get paid 0.003 cents per stream.
Yeah.
And when you think about your initial $10,000 investment in recording the record and stuff, that takes somewhere between 80, 90 years to recoup at this rate. So the physical media, like the vinyl, that's pretty good. But yeah, a lot of it is just like to make money, you have to be out on the road playing shows for money and selling T-shirts for sure.
Yeah.
Like that's the actual bread and butter.
Yeah. And I think that's important. And I think.
And I blame Spotify. I'll say it.
On the record.
Yeah, on the record. Yeah. I blame them.
Well, I heard,
sure.
Like I've been hearing a lot of stuff about YouTube music, like kind of competing, and I'm sure it's just going to be a lot of the same, more of the same with what Spotify does.
Yeah.
I think Tidal tried to pay their artists more, and that I don't even know is that still a thing.
Tidal is still a thing.
It is still a thing. Nobody uses it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's probably that people, it's just easier to use Spotify or Apple Music because more of what you want to listen to is in the same place. So. But not everybody's on Tidal, obviously.
Had a good question here from Eric Herm, which I'm glad he asked this because I totally forgot. When's the next J-Thrill show?
Oh, yeah.
And
TBD.
Can you tell everybody what that is, Jake?
TBD.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Similar to what Luke was saying is, so I used to make my own music, and a big driver of it was, do I have anything to say? And at this point, I don't think I have anything to say that isn't being said through Me Like Bees. So, never, I guess. But maybe not never, I guess. I don't know, but probably never.
Never, shout never,
I just did.
I remember seeing...
You're not supposed to.
Yeah, you're right.
I remember seeing you guys do a Dr. Dre song at the Refuge a while back, and there's been fun things like that as well. The unofficial Mile of Music after party. Luke, you went up with Colin and Charlie from Modern Haunting and did a Modest Mouse song, which
I did.
I don't know if that's something that you have done before, but it sounded really good.
I had just met those guys. I didn't know.
So how long did you practice for that?
None. I didn't practice at all. They asked me to do it that day. So I just said, hey, you guys know this song? They said, yeah, we figured it out. And then I said, these are the notes, I think, for the bass. And then I had Terrence from Soul True come up and sing with me. And then I just played guitar. Yeah, I don't know. We didn't practice. It sounded terrible.
I thought it sounded great.
Oh, really?
That's good.
I got the end of that, and I was like, well, I guess that was it. Yeah. And then I think I played some acoustic songs or just with an electric or something.
Yeah.
I didn't have my guitar with me. I was playing somebody else's guitar. So I didn't know.
So that was kind of the last minute off the cuff.
I had no idea. I said, do you guys know this song? They said, kind of, yeah. Well, all right, kind of works, I guess.
Yeah. And
it was fun.
Any plans to come back to Mile of Music? I know you didn't play this year.
That's not really up to us. I mean, that's kind of like, they try to book different artists every year. And like, if it were up to me, I'd play Mile of Music every 10 days.
Yeah.
But, they have their way of picking artists and then also on our side, we exclusively book through a booking agent. So, you know what I mean? That's not up to us on our side or their side. So that's a really non-answer. Go ahead and answer it. What's up?
We've got a call. You're on with Me Like Bees. What's your question?
This is John Bennett. I want to hear a travel story that scared them or they got worried about while they were on the road.
I've got the perfect story.
And I probably shouldn't be the one that tells it.
Yeah, and I think I was the only one that told our wives after. We were up in the mountains on the way to Portland, and it was like sideways slushy snow, and Jake was driving, and it was one of those situations where one of those like semis that carry trucks and like cars behind it, like one of those, like they have like the ramps that like, so there's like just a bunch of cars on the back of it, just started merging into our lane without seeing us. And it's like, well, this is it. This is how we die. Like this is because you're on the one side, you're going to get crushed against the mountain, or on the other side, it's like, I don't know, 500 feet of death, like before you hit anything. And then it's just tumbling down for another few thousand. So So if you got skipped over or whatever, you're donezo. But somehow Jake laid on the horn, got like merged with him into the smallest median, like the smallest like median you can have. Like the van just barely fit in it. And he accelerated as he did all of this seamlessly. And I was like, and then I was in the very back, and it had to be less than an inch, because I'm like, it's definitely gonna like put us in a tailspin, like, or it's gonna hit the back of us, and we're just gonna start going out of control. And it somehow just missed it by like an inch. And yeah, I was like, well, Jake saved our lives that day. I actually, for Christmas last year, and that was on Leap Day. I remember it vividly. But I made him an ornament that had one of those trucks on it with the cars in the back that said "Saved the Beast 22924" because it was like literally saved our lives. Because I think any one of us, somehow he was just the right man for the job right in that time, and it literally saved our lives. It was crazy.
You must have been shaking for quite a while after that.
It definitely is. I mean, it's heavy. Dad, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so I was raised going to that part of the country. Like, my dad would take our family out with his dad, and so I was raised on like the perilous nature of the mountains, and respecting like all aspects of nature. When you're behind the wheel, you have someone's son, you have someone's husband, and so yeah, I mean, I don't know if I was shaking, but it was very much one of those things where you're like, this could, I mean, and that's why, I don't know, what Luke's saying is like, having a plan for the band is great, but it's like literally, you might never play another show again and you don't know why, and it's like, when something like that happens, you're like, I don't know. Yeah, it really was crazy. Most of the time when you're like, oh yeah, we almost rear-ended somebody or whatever, and it's like, yeah, okay, you might cancel a show and then you're right back at it. But after it happened, we stopped at this little like mountain truck stop and
to catch our breaths. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, and it was just a big like sense of like, thankfulness, and appreciation for like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you could say that like, it was luck, but that's just not the worldview that I, adopt. So I think it was a series of like, I don't know, it was crazy. So it was, we were all like, we can't tell we're not telling our wives. They'll never let us leave. They'll never let us leave again.
I text my wife 15 seconds after it happened. You would not believe what just happened, lady. Yeah. Like this, like we almost died. Yeah. And Jake saved our lives. Like I have no idea how that, there was not a scenario where we get hit by that truck and we survive. That was not going to be an option. That was it. Like we would have been dead. Yeah. All of us, for sure.
I wouldn't have been here having this question from my dad from Florida, probably.
Did you know that story before you asked, John? Did you know that?
Did what?
Had you heard that story before?
Jake told me that. I didn't realize maybe how perilous it was, but I think maybe you told me of how Jake managed to keep it on the road.
Oh yeah.
Which, I mean, yeah, that was scary. Much more scary than you guys driving from Casper to Denver without power steering.
Yeah, that was crazy too.
No, man, that parking downtown Denver with no power steering in the old white whale was that was its own fun little situation.
Well, thanks for calling, Dad. I love you. I'll see you in where are you guys coming? Charlotte? You flying to Charlotte?
Charlotte.
All right, we'll see you in Charlotte.
All right. See you guys.
Okay.
Bye, John.
You didn't say you love me too, but just you're on the record here.
I love you.
I love you, son. So proud of you.
We had a comment here from Ian Hanley. Said their cover of Lana Del Rey's Blue Jeans was very good.
That is a good cover. That is.
Any plans to do any more covers?
No comment.
Oh, interesting response.
You come to the show and find out, everybody.
If you are one of 20 people.
If you're one of the 20 people that do not have a ticket, you can find out if we will do one or several covers, or who knows.
Let's talk about this new single, Shush. The song's got more of a punk sound to it, like a punk undertone. So I'd say that makes it a little different from what you guys have released previously. What was the spark that created Shush?
A man named Peter Burton, I think. We were going to record a song of ours called Icon.
No. Oh, okay. All right. Go for it.
We didn't. And so it's like, yeah.
We still might.
We might. We were going to record a different song. Maybe they didn't get, yeah. We weren't going to record any song. Never, ever.
Ever. We're done.
Yeah. And he said, you know what? I'm just going to write a different one. And so like 2 days, maybe 3 days before we went into the studio, he was like, sent me a song. I was like, what do you think about this song? I was like, well, that's pretty cool. And I thought he meant like a few months down the road, maybe here in the winter when we're looking at doing another single. I was like, cool. Well, yeah, I'll send it to the other guys and we'll see if we can put it together before. I was like, oh, you mean like now? Like tomorrow? Was it the day before that he sent it to us?
Maybe. Yeah,
it was 1 or 2 days.
Close to the 11th hour, for sure.
Yeah, and we were still writing the lyrics in between takes. So I would not say, I mean, you know, it was crazy. We've never written a song. Definitely never recorded a song like that, like 1 second after writing it. Yeah, so that was crazy.
Did you like the process of recording it so quickly?
I actually did. I did. And like, because I mean, I like here's the creative thing in front of you and there's the deadline. Make it work before then. Like I like that sort of, the flow of that a lot.
Are all these singles you're releasing going to be on a bigger album released at some date?
I don't think so.
So the singles, anything that's coming out as a single like Shush, that's not going to end up on an album down the road?
I don't think so. I mean, I guess if there was one that made sense thematically, you might. But like, as of right now, I don't think so.
How is the social media on your end? Because you've recently started doing your email list. You've been putting out tour stories, which are fantastic. If people haven't subscribed yet, they should do that. It seems like you guys are taking turns kind of writing things. It's still pretty early since you started doing that, but can you tell me a little bit about the stories from the road?
Me? What do you want me to say?
I don't know. You put it together.
We had this discussion, and it's something I'd been thinking about for a while, but I had this discussion on how, I don't know, people, I don't even know if it's played out at this point, but you know, I think the massive like social circles that exist on the internet as we know them, I think that eventually in the next 5 years they will start being vacated. I think you know, they just put out a study that more than 50% of Twitter traffic is bots. So, you know, there is a 1 in 2 chance that the interaction you're having on Twitter specifically is that it's with not a real person. And I think as that rises, the craving for like what Luke was saying is like real, authentic interaction, experience, dialogue with, you know, the bands that you love. I think there's going to be a want for that, especially with people that are subscribing to your email list are probably people that care about what you do on the road and the way you're thinking, and you know, and so that sort of was born out of that, and it's a good way to take stock of the things that are happening to you while they happen, and it's so easy to go, and then you know what I do with my wife when I get back on tour is like we sit down and I go through all the pictures, right? I'm like, oh yeah, that was so fun, or you know, and it's like I love looking back on tour, and it's like, well, how do we make sure that we love tour while it's happening? And so that was very important to me, and I think Luke has a good like voice for, you know, sorting through like what happens, and it's fun for me. I don't know if, you know, our booking agent is subscribed, and he responded to Luke's and was like, have Luke write my eulogy. Like, you know, like, so it's just,
does that mean that I was real depressing? Like,
I don't know. I thought it was just like beautiful. That's how I interpret it. But yeah, it's fun and just a way, and we're not trying to sell anybody nothing. We're not trying to, you know, sell tickets. We're not trying to read more at a show or come. It's none of that. It's
here
just,
are our thoughts. About like how we feel as we're doing these.
Yeah.
things.
It's a connection that comes to the people directly into their email box. You don't have to scroll and see it, and then you have to remember to go back and find it. I've really been enjoying it. So
well, thanks. That's why I was late. I was writing the latest one, so I didn't finish. So this will be in it. So I'll talk about this. It's going to be great.
Awesome. And you guys have hinted that you have more stuff coming up. Nothing you want to just get off your chest before we end it?
We would get in so much trouble.
Let me ask you
allegedly.
Let me ask you a question, an Appleton-based question. Since you've been here so many times, what is the one place in Appleton that you love visiting every time?
Sal's Pizza. Thank you. Yeah, Sal, next question.
I really loved Dale. This is a shout out to you. I loved Crazy Sweet, the original location on the corner.
Dale, they sponsored us.
Yeah, me and Dale are boys. We go back because I just love candy. I'm massive snacks guy. See, full circle.
Dale is a Chiefs fan.
Well, we don't have to talk about that, but
just thought I'd throw it out there.
But yeah, so I did love the old Crazy Sweet. Yeah. Nothing against the new owners. I don't know anything about them, but the original Crazy Sweet location.
Yeah, but Sal's. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Sal's.
Yeah.
So if you guys might make some trips there during this visit to Appleton,
if we're lucky enough.
I wouldn't say you might. That implies that maybe it doesn't happen, and that's not an option. I guess. Like I will.
Their white cheese pizza with ricotta. If you're lucky enough, they have the macaroni pizza.
Macaroni pizza, my dude.
It's crazy.
I want to thank you guys for doing this. It's always a pleasure when you guys are in Appleton. I know it always creates a buzz. And do you ever get sick of the Me Like Bees, the bees?
I never do. Ever. I made a point like a couple years ago. Anytime we type bee online, it's B-E-E. Don't care. I love it.
Embrace it at this point, right? Like, we used to avoid
Get stung. This is our second hive. I love it.
Yeah. Jake, you did that when you messaged me back, said, we'll be there. It made me laugh.
Habit. It's just a habit. Yeah.
But I want to thank you guys again. If you don't have tickets yet for the Appleton Beer Factory tomorrow, go get them. Sounds like there's not very many tickets left. Go check out their new single, Shush. And after you listen to it, and we're getting a call, so let's just call an audible here.
Let's gotta see what this is all about. I hope it's my dad calling back to say he loves me.
What's the question for Me Like Bees?
Pneumonia and what inspired it?
That's a good question. The question was how we wrote it and what inspired it. Mm-hmm. This is a question I get asked a lot because it is a very long song. I mean, I think people connect with that song. There's not like one thing that it's about, and really, I tell people this too. Like, I wrote that over the course of like 3 years, like back and forth, like not like every day I was like, but like I revisit this idea. And really the original idea was really just to have a faster verse that drops, like the chorus drops out. Like that's all the idea was originally. But a lot of it was just a bunch of thoughts I had as a much younger man. And, you know, it's hard for me almost to like talk about it because I used to use songwriting sort of as like a crutch, like for mental health. That was my outlet. I'm much better about managing that now through therapy, medication, exercising, doing the right things. And so songwriting has become much less of a therapeutic thing for me. And so much of that is so introspective because I'm just not saying a lot of those things, you know, there's no outlet for it. So it's almost hard for me, like it feels almost like I got married to a very wonderful woman who makes me very happy. So like, it's so hard for me to look at it. I don't relate to that person anymore. That was like me as a young man. And so it's hard for me to even remember how I was feeling, why I was feeling it. I knew I meant all of those things. And like, you know, the first line about, I feel like I'm already measuring how you react before I even say anything. I was going like, just how self-conscious I felt about, especially writing the record about, I'm self-conscious about saying these things in these songs. Like I'm already thinking about how someone would respond to this song before I've even finished it, like, and how problematic that was throughout. And I felt like I wanted to get some of those thoughts at the end of it, you know? And you know, as a Christian who writes secular music really, there's the line that says, "Praise be to the Father forever, who can take a dead thing." Like I wanted to make sure that I was giving thanks at the end of the record, right? So like, and really, I mean, it's weird because it's hard. We put it together, even though I'd written on it for a long time. We put it together very quickly, and it actually wasn't even supposed to make the record. We finished it on like the last day as like, here's the outro for this record kind of thing. So I know that's not like the best answer, but I mean, that's, I wish I had more for you. I wish I'd written down more about what I was thinking at the time. I didn't really journal.
Those tour journals back then.
No tour journals. No one would have read them. So, I was shocked even at the time. Like I remember the first time I thought, oh, maybe that's a song people will like, is when my roommate stole the demo. I just had like a CD with the daily on it. It wasn't even the final version of the song. And I needed to listen to it to like give notes about mixing and stuff. And he had stolen it because he wanted to listen to that song. And I was like, bro, you can't, I have to have that back. You cannot take that. Like,
still working here, pal.
Also that's not out. So you're not supposed to have that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it was like I was saying before, it's always surprising to me. I would not have thought that people would respond to that song the way they did. It's at the end of the song. It's like, or record, it's a throwaway, sort of like, here's the last thing. So, I mean, I wish I remembered more about how we were doing it and the way we wrote it and stuff, but